Back to the top of the table, Goody. Well done. How's the spirit in the camp?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Gooch. Obviously, fantastic to be back at the top. Been a indifferent 12 weeks, shall we say. Obviously, started off okay. Little bit of a blip in the middle with a loss. But yeah, we've clawed back that deficit and we managed to be 24 points clear now.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really have had much experience of being in fourth place with a few games gone. How was it?
To be honest, I didn't think it really fazed us. You got to look and sort of see the point of the season where you're in that position. And obviously early doors, everybody starts on the same amount of points. It's very tight. A win can be the difference between being sort of top or maybe fifth or sixth, especially in the very early weeks. So I think to take too much notice of it early doors is, we didn't really bother too much with that. But obviously now everybody's played each other once. I think now's the time where you look and you say, okay, right, everyone's, like I said, played each other. It's even. Where are we in the league? What's happening now? So yeah, early doors I didn't worry too much, but obviously now everyone's played each other. It's fantastic to be on top of the table.
Yeah, is there one side, you've played everyone once, so is there one side that you're sort of picking, we really need to target these, maybe from the top teams? Any sort of challenges?
Not really. I think you just got to, each week's different. You get, last week was fantastic for us. We play away at Rushden, and the team that were closest to us at the time, Peterborough, they lost to Wollaston. So, I don't think there's any particular team that you can pinpoint and say they're going to be challengers, or they're going to be, the team that we have to beat, etc., etc. The team that performs the most consistently over the year will win the league. And to worry too much about other teams anyway, I think once you start doing that, things aren't going to go your way. You just need to concentrate on what you're going to do, what your team's going to do. And if you do that, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't achieve what you want to achieve.
Cool. And going on to Wellingborough sort of this week coming up, a game people would be expecting you to win. How will you be approaching that?
Expect to win. People think you're going to win doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen. You look at, like I said, the results that have happened just recently. There's been some big upsets. Every team in this division is capable of beating each other. That's what makes it such a close and good division this year. We want to go to Wellingborough. We're top of the league. We're on a high. They're bottom of the league. We want to make sure that we can pull a little bit further away if we can. And to do that, we obviously need to be performing to our abilities and trying to pick up as many points as we possibly can. One thing's for sure, we won't be taking them lightly because we do realise that it is that is one of the games that if you do go into and take things lightly, then you might not necessarily get what you want to get from the game.
Yeah, and just a word on Andy Daniels. He scored 114, his highest score. Does that give you much encouragement? Sort of maybe a second team player at the time, sort of come in, and making the most of his opportunity.
Yeah, Doppy's done fantastic since he's come in. The first couple of innings he played, he scored, a couple of 30s. Looked good for 30 out. Sort of seemed to be the routine for a little while, but then obviously we needed somebody to step up to the plate against Peterborough. Massive game, a lot of unavailability, some big players missing, and we needed somebody to put their hand up, and he did that. He did that really well, and he just needs to continue that now. He started really well, and he's got to continue it. If he takes his foot off the gas, then I'm sure one or two of the lads will be giving him a kick up the arse.
Yeah, that's the thing with finding. Well, it strikes me that obviously you've got strength and depth really. What was the sort of the mood in the camp when maybe Clint wasn't available, Johnny Dunn's been away, and a couple of others? Was it a case of let's take our opportunity, or?
Well, yeah, it's very difficult. It was a tricky week. We knew that we were under strength. We knew that we weren't potentially as good as Peterborough were on paper, but I always look back to the year that we had some very good players leave finally. We had Tim Coleman leave, we had Dave Clark leave, Tim Roberts left, The top of the order was very depleted, but we had some young lads that came in that year, and everybody just gelled. It was, we weren't the best team in the league, we weren't the strongest team in the league by any means, but we played as the best team, and I think that year we won the league with 3 weeks to spare. Yet we had no right to, really. And I think the Peterborough game was another version of that, really. We know we're not as strong, but everybody came together, everybody wanted to win, and we pulled off, I would probably say, one of the results of the year, looking at the teams on paper.
Yeah, and Johnny Dunn obviously comes back he comes back from America soon. Is it a case of him sort of walking into the side, or is it a case of selection is going to have to work hard? How's it work with your strength?
It's a very good question, Gudge. John had a little bit of a tough period before he went away. I'm sure he'll be the first to admit that. Struggled a little bit. John's a fantastic player. Let's not beat about the bush. He's good enough to play in any Premier Division side, but everybody goes through a bit of a rough patch. So yeah, John's going to come back. He's going to have to start in the twos and prove that get some big scores behind him, and then obviously make himself available for selection again. And like you say, that for me as club captain is a fantastic position to be in. I don't see that there'd be many clubs that would have a John Dunn go on holiday, come back and not walk straight into their team. But such is the strength that we've got at Findon, that unfortunately is the case for him.
Fantastic. And just a word in your bowling, you look to be, bowling well, taking wickets each week. It's coming out right?
Some weeks, yeah, some weeks no. It's a bit indifferent. I think sitting behind the desk all week's not doing me any good, to be perfectly honest with you. But obviously it's nice when you personally you do well, but I would settle for none for 90 every week if we won every game. So for me, it's not a big thing. I don't look at my own performance. Yes, it's nice when you contribute, and yes, it's nice when you do things well and help the team out. But like I said, as long as we're winning, I don't really care about my own performance.
Cheers, Giddy.
No worries.